huge thank you to Luisa for partnering with us on today's video. If you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I absolutely adore Luisa's jewelry and wear them often in my videos. These pieces are my go-to for creating simple, understated, everyday, and yet stylish, high-quality, affordable looks. With Mother's Day around the corner, I wanted to share the love and give my own mama something sparkly because she deserves it. If you're also looking for a gift for your own mom, you can't go wrong with a piece from Luisa. But I won't judge you if you also get something for yourself. Their jewelry is sustainable and 100% of the carbon emissions are being offset. They're currently having a Mother's Day sale with 15% off all products. By clicking the link in my description, you're not only on your way to a great gift, but you're also supporting this channel by letting them know that we sent you. So thank you again to Luisa for partnering with us, and now onto the video. Hi, welcome Jovie's home. Now, when I started this YouTube channel a little bit more than 2 years ago, I posted a video about giving birth in the Netherlands. That video was very long and we felt like we wanted to create this updated and improved version. So if you are watching this video and you are an expectant parent, I also want to suggest that you watch the other videos in this series. For example, the one about types of paid and unpaid leave available under Dutch law for parents, like maternity and paternity leave and all the things that go with that. I will also be updating my video on types of childcare that are available in the Netherlands, so make sure to check that out. Any video that I'm talking about in this having a baby series, I will have it linked either in the cards or below. Now, there might be some special rules that I don't cover in this video that apply because of the pandemic. Your healthcare providers will inform you what specific rules apply due to that. However, in this video, I will cover medical insurance and birth care providers, the 3 options where you can give birth. I will talk about C-sections and pain relief, and also what happens after the baby is born, because that's really unique to the Netherlands. This video is not about my birth stories. Of course, I am talking about these things from my experience giving birth twice in the Netherlands, but this video is meant to be more of like as a practical guide. Now, if that sounds good to you, then why don't you come on in, kick off your shoes and stay a while. I'm really glad you're here. Today's Dutch word of the day is bevallen, which means giving birth. Now, starting with medical insurance, everyone living in the Netherlands is required to have valid medical insurance. The government mandates that every insurer offers identical coverage in their basic policies. The basic policy is actually really good if you are young and healthy and you don't need extras like acupuncture or many visits to the physical therapist, things like that. And unless you already plan on giving birth in the hospital with no medical reason, then the basic policy is like pretty much sufficient for you. However, if you know that you want to have a hospital birth, then you might look into upgrading into a supplementary insurance. Children under the age of 18 are covered for free under the parents' medical insurance. So if your baby is born with any medical needs whatsoever, you won't have to pay for it. You will not receive a bill for it. As I said, all medical treatment is free for kids under 18. Now, most women see midwives during the course of their pregnancy in the Netherlands. You might come from a country where gynecologists are the norm, and I understand that you might be a bit worried about seeing a midwife. I have had 2 babies in the Netherlands, one where I insisted on seeing a gynecologist for no medical reason at all, and one that was followed by a midwife. If you prefer to have a lovely, homey, and relaxed approach with kind and extremely experienced birth providers, then midwives are the correct choice and they're the way to go. But because I insisted on seeing a doctor without needing to during my first pregnancy, my experience was very cold, medical, and rather unpleasant. For the second baby, I was cared for by midwives until they had to hand me over to the doctors. But all this to say, don't fear visiting a midwife practice or 2 before you insist on seeing a doctor. You do have the option and you can insist on seeing a doctor, but again, unless you really need to, midwives are really the way to go. And if you are seeing a midwife but your pregnancy turns medical for whatever reason, they will refer you to the gynecologists. So rest assured that you will get the best care from the correct provider. Moving on. You have 3 options where you can give birth. You can give birth at home, in a birthing center, or at a hospital. Home birth is still relatively common in the Netherlands, although more women are opting for a hospital birth or a birthing center birth. But the benefit of choosing a home birth is that you have a peaceful home environment and that the midwives in the Netherlands are all quite experienced with home deliveries. However, you can also choose to give birth in a birthing center. Birthing centers are lovely, also homey environments, often with a big birthing tub, and they are oftentimes very near or in a hospital themselves. Sometimes these birthing centers even offer post-birth, like birth hotel services, where you can stay with your partner and baby for a few days afterwards. Hospital birth, of course, is an option as well. Keep in mind that hospitals offer different things post-birth. For example, some hospitals have private rooms and others do not. Some allow your partner to stay in the room with you overnight and others do not. If you're pregnant, I strongly suggest you asking for a tour and finding out the answers to all of your important questions, and tour more than one hospital. Also, keep in mind that your hospital might not be the one that you end up giving birth in. For example, we originally wanted to give birth in one hospital in The Hague. We were registered there, we had the tour, did all the things. But the day that I went into labor, that hospital was full. So we ended up having to go to a different one. Luckily, we had toured both, so that is a really important tip. This does happen, so you should be prepared for that. Moving on to C-sections and pain relief. C-sections are difficult to come by in the Netherlands. Unless you have a medical indication for one, you cannot just request it the way that you can in some other countries. For first-time moms birthing in the Netherlands, you will be attempting a vaginal birth for your first baby. Again, unless there is a medical reason not to. If you've already had a C-section in another country or you have a medical reason to have that, then you can request a second C-section if you want it. But just be prepared that the doctors might push back a little bit and try to talk you out of it, or at least make sure that it is exactly what you want. The culture in the Netherlands is that birth is not a medical issue, and so they want it to be as minimally invasive as possible. This is not the same as it is in other countries, but I think that it's worth knowing it so that you're not unprepared for difficult questions and conversations with your healthcare providers. For pain relief, most options are available, except I think gas and air. But certainly you can have an epidural if you want it. You can also bring your own TENS machine, birthing ball, all that stuff. You can bring that. Now, keep in mind, though, that due to the minimal intervention culture, it's not always as easy to get an epidural as it might be in other places. So if you think that that's what you want, you should make sure to mention that to your healthcare providers throughout your entire pregnancy. Just make it clear. Make it clear. I've heard stories from friends where they were not given an epidural on time and thus forced to go all natural. Things like this can happen. So by making your wishes clear from the start, you minimize these risks. What happens after the baby is born? The Netherlands has an incredible system to support new families post-birth. However, if you're not aware of the system, it might be a little bit different than what you expect. So let me explain it to you. Basically, if you have a standard vaginal delivery with no complications, you will be released from the hospital or birthing center within a few hours. This is different than in a lot of other countries where new moms and babies stay in hospital for a few days. If you have a C-section, though, you will spend about 2 to 3 days in the hospital. The thing is that in the Netherlands, there is a completely unique system post-birth called Kraamzorg. I have 2 videos just about Kraamzorg care, but I will briefly also discuss it here. You will find the videos linked everywhere in this video. So just before you're discharged from the hospital or birthing center, you call up the Kraamzorg office that you signed up with when you were about 12 weeks pregnant. You let them know that you delivered, and a qualified Kraamzorg worker will meet you at home that day. It is this person's job to make sure you're okay, to check on mama and baby, do daily weigh-ins with baby, check mama's stitches. They help you learn how to diaper the baby, feed, bathe, and all the things that go along with that. She communicates with the midwife, who will also visit you at home after the baby is born. If there are any issues with baby or mama, the Kraamzorg nurse will alert you and can also help in communicating with your doctors. But in addition to the medical stuff that I just discussed, she also helps by greeting your guests, and how she prepares little treats or coffee for people that might visit you. She also helps to maintain the hygiene of your home daily by sanitizing the toilet and the shower that mama is using. She also helps out with changing the bed sheets or doing some laundry. She might prepare meals or snacks, take care of the older kid, or just tell the parents to go and have a nap for a couple of hours while she takes care of your baby. It is because of the Kraamzorg care in the Netherlands that women are discharged from the hospital as soon as possible. Like, you're not just discharged and sent home without any support, It's quite the opposite. You really, really do get a lot of great care post-birth at home. So if you're a first-time parent, and especially in a foreign country, I understand how overwhelming this can all feel. But truly, I can't think of a better place to give birth than the Netherlands. Thank you so much for coming over and spending some time with me today. Thanks again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you check them out using my link below. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Doei!